Pakistani gentlemen, but it turns out I was terrified of them. Have you met many Pakistani gentlemen? They're fucking terrifying. They're scary. Like they're all like a cross between a butler and a murderer. Probably because they carry bags and they kill people. Probably. I don't know what the deal is. I haven't seen Gandhi yet. Looking forward to that. I never gave a shit before. And then, like, I'd heard of Gandhi being a pacifist and taking back the entire Indian subcontinent using a pacifist discipline. But then he got shot and he married that cow of a wife. And they had some sort of problem with Pakistan and Kashmir, and there was some sort of problem. And I remember in the movie, there's this part towards the end where Ben Kingsley acts like he's a real raisin, and he's got to deal with some sort of problem that I didn't understand. I'm looking forward to learning more about that because, unlike Gandhi, I don't have a cow of a wife. No, she's over the moon, and then she apparently thought it would be a good idea to hide with her. What do we call him? Doesn't matter. I'm okay with those two together. Like, I'm not mad. I'm not going to worry about whatever kind of charges have been laid. I'm specifically not going to lend any credibility to anything Richard Gripper said. I'm glad all those videos got taken down, and then I don't know what they did, but they broke a deal. So they're facing the wheel. Now, I didn't know that this was going to be something that had to be reiterated. But the notion that these people were going to isolate me in some sort of digital prison and then be all pissy about it, like, I don't think that's an Algonquin thing. I think that's a woman thing. And then she got her girlfriend. She gets her girlfriend, and she gets her man, and she gets her children, I think. They might not like her, but... Well, maybe they didn't know her before. But in any case, I don't know what the actual deal is because somebody's left me in the dark for way too fucking long. I mean, I'm master of divination, but that lets me know that I don't know everything. But I do know a few things, which is mainly that rather than deal with me and say, hi, thanks for saving my life, she hired actors and left me to die again. That's my sweetie. Sweetie, I love you. I'm so glad you're alive. I like your attitude. It's a good attitude. Hopefully you can take that into the bedroom for your pillow talk sessions with whomever, since I'm not sweating that. I'm really not. And then if he wanted me to be dead too, fair. Yeah, I would imagine that would be appropriate for him to want, since he did spend all that money trying to kill me. But as you know, I am immortal for a limited time. I'm at 1/10 my expected lifespan, and he's welcome to do whatever the fuck he wants, including you, because you made your choice. I'm not in a position to argue. Plus, I think he can probably afford a better class of shoe for you, whereas I don't even want to buy condoms. Now, this may seem a little harsh, but I will say that I'm super cranky and annoyed because I stopped smoking meth, and so I'm just jonesing. I just can't. Oh, I'm totally compensating. Whatever. You said you wanted me to start. You didn't say you wanted me to stop, but you had your minions run around talking mad shit about me for fucking years. Oh, he's. Do you know why? Well, because I can, and then you can't. Which, isn't that frustrating? Did I do it for 3 years? Did I do it for 3 years while having sex with your girlfriend from high school? Or, well, whatever. The point is that you had fun without me, and then probably not the best idea, but I can see how it was necessary. And then I kind of got left my own, and then I've done the best that I could, and God did quite a bit better. And then I'd like to point out that it looks like you're all alive. And since everybody's supposed to be dead, and then somebody was dead, and then I think somebody was buried under the floorboards. I don't know if they still are. I don't know how this whole resurrection thing works. and then the people coming back as bugs and jumping spiders and slugs. That's cool. That's cool. And then I don't know how the shit that happens. But I've been living in a fucking freak show funhouse, and there's no instruction manual. And instead of my sweetie calling me and saying, "Hey, thanks for saving my life. Here's what we're doing," instead of that, it's been basically another ambush. I love my family. Avoid foreign entanglements is the best advice any leader ever gives people. Let me tell you, these people are serious business. Okay, she's gonna be mad for probably another few months minimum, just because there's procedures. She can't forgive me too quickly, and then she has legitimate grievances. I don't know what those are, but she's probably shared them with other men in bed, and then talked about them in roundtables on Podbean with actors. And then I've had no real clue since she kind of cloaked herself. And then, hi, Mr. Rubini, I love you. I hope I'm not offending your. Hold on. I may sound a little pissy, but I'm happy. And then if the language is too harsh, I will be willing to take your refund request later. Right? Let's just take it as read that I'm going to be as pissy as I want to be. I'm going to try not to curse too much so that you can put me on prime time next to an all-new Apprentice or something. I don't know. I don't want to make things hard for you. And then I don't want to embarrass you too much, but I would like to point out that it's great that you're all alive. Wouldn't it be sad if I weren't? And yeah, I don't really want to kill myself. And then I don't want to be killed. And then I don't want to starve to death. And I don't want to die under a mountain of legal paperwork. Nor do I want to be chased down the street by villagers with pitchforks, or struck by lightning, or how do Jews kill their enemies? I don't know. I don't. This is my first time I've had a nemesis of this caliber. But tell you what, why don't you take it out on my wife? Anyway, enough of that for now. I didn't know that I was going to have to go live. Oh, hi, 3 minutes. I can't really do what I usually do, which is to record a piece of audio and then edit it and then upload it. I don't have time for that. I got stuff to do. It's 6 o'clock. I'm waiting for my laundry. I got to leave this location and go somewhere else. I'm not sure where, but this isn't the kind of town where I can do my thing. I mean, they kind of like me, but they don't really want me to make a fuss. I don't make a fuss either. And the last town I was in, they basically informed me that they were tired of my shit, which makes sense, since even if everything's okay, they still have to face the fact that I smoked them and showed them who's boss in ways that they're not really accustomed to. Like, I don't want to offend them, but apparently people usually behave better in that town because they don't want to lose access to the world's best dope slinging whores, I guess. I don't know what the deal is. And then that's fine because they're allowed to do that. Because reasons. I don't even think it's illegal. I don't even think it's wrong, right? But a lot of times I think men in the position that I'm temporarily in will be imagined to be horrified. My blood runs cold. My memory has just been sold. My common law wife is a cock-sucking smack whore. Go Bears. I mean, I don't know if she is that. I don't think she is. I don't think she is, actually. And if she is, so what? That's her job. Doesn't matter. It's kind of a different situation in that I'm just glad she's alive, and then the world isn't going to burst into a conflagration of faux pas triggered turf wars. Instead, I was hoping that I could be like a lightning rod, and then I could bring the entire world to its knees just with my face, talking mad shit about Rubini Shaw. Hi, Koozie. Hi, Mr. Ruby. Hi. You know, I haven't heard from you lately. I guess you've been busy. Fair. I can imagine that. And then you probably didn't want to talk to me because then you might be at risk of being ensorcelled by my magic powers or some shit. Or you just didn't want to be embarrassed because I feel you. You probably don't want to hear what my point of view is. It is awkward to just rely on cutting my mic for everything. But realistically, the safety of humanity kind of depends on us talking responsibly. You know, perhaps in a roundtable. I hate to keep on bringing up Podbean because I don't want to give them too much advertising, but I remember I wasn't invited to Poppy, and I guess that was one of the first occasions that I was going to be squeezed out. Well, I'm not squeezing you. I would never do that to my two favorite. What do it? Welshers. Welshers, because like when you make a deal and then you break it and then you try to get away with it by isolating me. Oh look, I went down from 3 to 0 and 1. Like, how do you do this? How do you manipulate YouTube? Oh, that's right, you own it. I'm not even complaining, right? It's actually pretty cool. And then I'm staking my life on the notion that you're going to like what I have to say once I stop chewing your ass out without being at all too obvious about it. Because frankly, I'm kind of embarrassed, kind of saddened. Like why do I have to do this? Oh yeah, because I'm being held incommunicado, unlawfully imprisoned in an open air panopticon thing by. I think archons from Saturn are controlling my phone. I don't really know, or maybe your children are. Sweetie, you have how many children do you have? Like all of them? Anyway, they're all kind of mad because I guess you were pretending I didn't exist, and then you tried to have some tubby fat bald man pretend to be me. They know it's not me, right? And then I don't know what the story was, but it's best not to have to lie about these things. So I don't know what story you told them, but frankly, I didn't want to talk to you either because you were working, and then I didn't want to disturb you during your. How many honeymoons is this? Anyway, whatever. I didn't want to get in the way of whatever, and then I didn't want you to get the impression that I was going to be mad because, sweetie, you sucking Harry Houdini's dick for all I care. You're alive because of me. So far be it. You're alive. You got to stop doing that because I don't even know what you're doing. I'm not worried about it. Oh, good. Okay, reconnecting. Yeah, I don't need to sue you. I'm not suing anybody. You're just win. And once again, if you're alive at all, that's a win for me since we were supposed to be dead, and now you're not. So that's good. And then I don't know what you remember, but there's a whole bunch more of the story that I'll tell you later. I kind of wanted to tell you privately before I spread all the details on my soon-to-be awarding podcast, Debrief 5 Minutes with Jack Jar. Perhaps you've heard of it. Your sister doesn't seem to like it, and then she doesn't seem to like me. And then that's pretty common these days. Yeah, not a lot I can do about that. But since she's talking to me at all and not saying, "Oh my God, so and so is dead," I'm going to have to say I probably knocked it out of the park, right? And then I don't really feel stolen from. I think it was just some movements of objects, right? And then I was probably supposed to feel. It's important to talk to me to some extent, otherwise it's not legal. And then I don't want to have to go to court ever, right? So anyway, I don't know whose plan anything was to leave me alone and make me feel like ass for 4 years, but it worked out pretty well. I feel humbled. This is going to work out pretty fine. I don't need to smoke what you told me to smoke anymore. You didn't order me to stop, but I figured, I was bored of it anyway. Stuff sucks. And then I don't want to, right? There's other stuff I want to do. And then I didn't really officially need you to tell me to stop, but getting screeched at by that moron who busted you. You know they're a fake cop? You got busted by a fake cop. Anyway, they kept on saying that I was a meth addict and that I need to get a job. Okay, well, sweetie, can't you hire me? Or is that a conflict of interest? Did you get paid off to never hire me? How many NDAs and never mind. We'll discuss that later. But if your stage husband doesn't like me, that's okay. I don't like me either. However, nobody else could save your life, and I am not Q, so that's cool. And then I guess you haven't heard the news. Yeah, I don't smoke it anymore. And then what else you want to tell me to do? is great because I take orders from you and not your husband, since well, I just prefer the Navy. Yeah, and then I didn't plan on your nemesis getting punished the way she did, but that sure worked out, and that just happened yesterday. So um, I'll tell you about that part later too. I'm not particularly mad at her, but I bet you're mad at her, and then that other person you're mad at, and then I don't know actually who you're mad at the most, other than me. But probably you should be mad at me most of all because I kind of wanted you to be aware that I don't like being lied to. Yeah, and I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but there are special consequences. And then one of them is that are you in Texas? Are you stuck in a marriage to some guy? Cool, cool, stay there. Unless you can teleport, in which case, can you bring me a sandwich? And let's see what else. I'll tell you what, we'll talk more later because you're gonna, well, you don't have to pretend to be dead anymore. And even though you're working, that's okay, we can talk because your job is to hate me and suck his dick. And then I don't need to worry about that. Which is great because you were going to do that anyway, right? Cool. Now I don't have to go to the FBI. And then if David has swallowed his tongue, perfect. Shove a shoe down after it. Hey, where's Jake? He's not in prison, is he? I need to know who went to prison. And then I need to know who's on the run. And I need to know what you need to have done. And then I need to know various other things. That's what the round table would be for. And then the actors that you hired suck because they got compromised or else they were stupid in the first place. And then they didn't come up to me and say, hey, here's what happened. Instead, they did other things, and then they were compromised by the inverse reduced karmic evil twin pair of your girlfriend's boyfriend, who apparently didn't enjoy getting sold out by somebody and killed and then resurrected as a vampire ghoul. So, you girls are vicious, aren't you? Hey, how do you like my necklace? Isn't that cool? I think you might have brought it over. Maybe it's supposed to be some sort of magic charm to reduce my power. I don't know. Speaking of magic charms to reduce my power, there's a dream catcher that's hanging next to the red hummingbird. That's the glass one that's hanging there still. Unless the serial killer and his gun wall who invaded the house, unless they sold it for drugs. That's still hanging there. I thought you left it there on purpose. And also your plant that died, hopefully you can bring that back to life. You can like wiggle your nose or something. Babe, I don't know what you can do other than pretend we were never married and then hang out with that guy and then be mad at me. Cool. I'm actually kind of excited. I can see you fall in love all over again. And then this time the whole world will know that it's real and I didn't just blow meth down your throat. Since apparently that's something that happens. I didn't know. Not really my style, but I can see why people thought that I had done that, since why would you and I have a relationship? Other than you thought I was stupid and good in bed. And easy to handle. I'm still easy to handle. I'm probably not easy to take advantage of. Anyway, you'll be fine. Gosh, I didn't realize you're live, aren't you? It says 0 on YouTube. That's funny. That probably means that you're watching some other stream with some AI robo actor pretending to be me, and then you're not allowed to see me, because then if you saw my face and then there was a conflict, you might go blender. I don't know if that's still a problem, but yeah, I don't know what they did. But it's been 4 years. If you can't handle talking to me, well, I would be surprised, especially since I think it's wonderful what you're doing, except for the part that people that you hired to protect me are trying to kill me, and the military's not really protecting the public. They're just sort of making as much money as possible by selling your children into whoredom, which is awkward, since that wasn't really my idea anyway. I don't know. I don't know where the disconnect has been, but probably it was involving not talking to me for years, and then Azure and Dragon Lord and Dana and Richard and Dave and David and David. Oh, the other Dave. Oh, and there's Doug. Anyway, all these people have not told me the fucking truth at all. I guess getting rid of me was like a common thread. Or it was a test to see if I could surmount these challenges. I'm not sure how it works with you people. But yeah, we should talk. Yeah, then we could arrange things. And then if we can't talk, I need to know why. Because it seems odd that you're alive and taking out vengeance on your enemies, and then I'm locked away in a digital prison and I can't get any phone calls except from women who want to borrow money to get coke. I don't even like coke. And then I'm not going to prison, and I don't need to go to a psych ward again. And then I can see why that woman had to go to a psych ward 3 more times. And then I can see why she was surprised. Anyway, yeah, I guess you thought that I had a thing for her. No, she's my friend. So you've been torturing her for no reason at all. So I'll see what I can do about that. And then probably somebody was hoping that all these women would get whipped into a frenzy and then kill each other, and then they can run off all the money. No. I need them. And then I don't really need men with lots of money who are going to whip women into a frenzy. So we can probably work that out. We can probably negotiate. Doesn't have to be a round table, but that is traditional. Okay, so I can't do this in the city. I got to go. Otherwise, I could talk for hours since I miss you a lot. And did you know I really am a sorcerer? Are you still a shamaness, or are you just his fluffer? Tell me later. I don't want to know. Maintain some enigma mystery for me. Thanks. Bye.